Hello, ho, ho, and welcome to A Review for Christmas. My name is Chelsea.
And I'm Ariel.
And today is Season 4, Episode 1.
Oh my gosh, it's Episode 1.
Never Been Chris'D.
Finally.
The movie I talked about for 12 episodes last season is finally here.
Hey, Hallmark was just not giving in.
Hallmark, they were gatekeeping.
gatekeeping.
Hallmark gatekeeps, and you know what? I've always said exclusivity drives demand.
Does it?
I mean, that's why you can't just get an Hermes bag even if you can afford it.
I just don't understand. I said it so many times. I don't understand the business model. But you know what? I don't.
You know, they don't even have it behind a paywall, so I really actually don't get it. Good point.
No, you can't even sign up for a Hallmark.
No, you're right.
Online thing. Like I have a DVR channel now, that I pay for. Like, what is this?
Oh, nothing good. Nothing good. All right. Never Been Chris'D. We have, I only did 3 actors in this one.
The 3 main one? Mm-hmm. Oh, smart.
Pascal Lamont Kipnis.
That's a name.
It is a name, and I'm probably not saying it properly, and I'm very sorry. Plays Liz. Janelle Parrish is Naomi. Best known for Pretty Little Liars and To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Really?
Yeah. She plays the older sister of the lead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at
Tyler
that.
Hines plays Chris Silver.
Oh, and is our first celebrity lookalike. I don't know. I think we bring it to the comment section, guys.
I think we
okay?
do, because
We're
I don't
on
agree.
YouTube this time around. If you are chilling in the comment section, do you think that Tyler Hines maybe kinda looks like 2023 Josh Hartnett? I'm just saying. I got a picture of 2023 Josh Hartnett, and I feel like they could be cousins. They could be cousins.
I feel like in a true vulnerable moment here, I feel like you could put most white men next to each other and say they could be cousins. Not most, but
not at all. See, the thing is, it's the facial hair, and the facial hair is big.
Yeah, it's really just the facial hair.
They have foreheads.
Okay, well, we also have foreheads.
I just feel like they both do the squinty eye thing.
Okay.
You know, we've got little squints here.
Yeah.
We got little squints there. Here a squint. There
Little
a squint.
Squints is a cute nickname.
Everywhere, Tyler Hines and
I don't
Josh
know anything he's from, quite frankly.
Tyler Hines. By the way, guys, this season, Ariel has a laptop in front of her for a few episodes, so I can play the game.
I'm seeing he's in follow-ups of the Never-Ending Story as Atreyu.
He's like old Atreyu?
I think he's the voice of Atreyu.
You're right. We haven't seen Time for Him to Come Home for Christmas. We haven't seen 3 Wise Men and a Baby, which has Andrew W. Walker.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
No, we haven't seen any of these, but it's a lot of Hallmark.
Yeah, and then also like a lot of TV shows like Saving Hope, The Transporter. He was in Letterkenny, so he's working.
Has everyone been in Letterkenny? I feel like that is so common for Hallmark guys to have been on Letterkenny. Well, Letterkenny's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's I just feel like all the time it's like, well, he was on
I don't remember ever saying Letterkenny. We'll have to go back.
Yeah, my need to prove myself
just skyrocketed,
and I'm not going to do the work. You guys just have to trust me that I know this. Just trust me.
Uh-oh.
So anyway.
Anyway, we open up on Liz and Naomi, the 2 best friends that anyone could have, talking about going home for Christmas and the holidays, because we're going to find out they celebrate separate holidays, technically. And then I can't remember which one it is.
Okay.
But it's either Liz or Naomi, duh. It's like, okay, I'm going to go home. And the gag of it is she walks out the door, turns, and then walks into her door because they're next door neighbors.
Yes.
Oh my God, quirky.
So quirky and
so
cute.
Quirky.
I feel like they remind me of You and Me, but at 25, not 35.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Yeah, the fact that they're in their 30s is a little...
It was interesting because she mentions 35, and I went, really?
Yeah.
These 2? Tyler Hines, I'd believe it. These 2 on the side? I mean, I'm 33, so maybe I would believe it because they kind of look like they're our age. They look like a little bit like us. I don't know, man.
I'm not going to pretend I can tell anybody's age at any time, at any given...
Yep. No.
I mean, the people that were in Cheers were 30 on that show, and they look decades older than us.
Janelle Parrish is 35 right now.
Great.
So she was 34. And Pascal is born sometime They're not giving me her age. Maybe she doesn't want to own up to it. But
Hey,
Hallmark
all
does
hide
that. They want it
things.
to be an older audience. They know
true.
there's people like me watching. It did actually make me feel kind of good that they were 35 and
2023 Hallmark really did something last year, if you ask me. So.
single. They've always been going for the older audience, but they
Yeah.
have pivoted. You are correct.
So we find out that they are best friends who are next door neighbors who also co-own an app.
Like a friends meetup
Of like a
app.
friend meetup app, like
Yeah.
Bumble BFF essentially.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was called, and I watched this
Called
6
like
hours ago.
Best friend. It was called like
Yeah,
it was
because-
not
because
it was
every
like not clever enough.
Every time they like mentioned it, it was very a metaphorical mention
just
about their
friended?
friendship. No, it's like you're right.
Let's
it's-
see.
I
Let's
know.
see. Never been Chris'd. I have a laptop in front of me instead of my iPad too.
This is the way to go. This is the skin.
I'm
of a
on the
professional.
Reddit discussion thread, but not finding anything. Well, I'll let you do that while I keep going.
Okay, good.
So they're pitching their app for funding, and we also get the first hint that everyone thinks Naomi works for Liz. They do not think that they are co-owners.
Yes.
They think that Liz is the brains or the lead of the operation, and Naomi is just a trusty sidekick.
Do you think it's because they think she's dumb?
I kind of thought it was like the blonde woman, brunette woman, also white woman, and ambiguous woman.
Okay.
Kind of it all. Like a lot of times, not to get into it, but like white people are kind of defaulted as like.
See, I was expecting. No, I wasn't expecting
But
anything.
I don't know.
I just thought it was funny that she was Jewish and blonde. Not that there are not blonde Jews, but let's be stereotypical here. And she says Hanukkah with a hard CH.
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
And they both also have severe mommy issues. Both of them.
They do. It was a very interesting little thing to throw in that they both have mom
And very
issues.
different kinds.
Yep, they have the opposite.
Yeah,
problem.
like Liz can't stop fighting with her mom and like keeps putting up all these like hard boundaries and avoiding home. And Naomi can't seem to set a boundary to save her life.
Poor Naomi.
Poor Naomi. So they're flying home together. They land. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't bring guys for this season. If you're watching on
yeah.
YouTube, we have comment sticks.
I'm looking at your camera like I'm going to be up here now.
We have comment
trees.
sticks. So comment trees so that we don't interrupt each other. Comment tree. It's called Best Pal.
Best pal. See, truly nothing remarkable to write home about.
No,
quite
not at
frankly.
Not at all. A lot of my feeling about this movie. Keep going.
Just wait till you see our scores.
Oh my God. No, I know we're gonna be differing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they land and they speculate if they will run into anybody they know from high school.
Oh, yeah.
And the first person they see is Chris Silver.
Pop up that headshot that they gave him from high school. It
Oh
looked
man,
awesome.
he is a hockey star turned Marine turned teacher. I'm giving that way too early, but I just feel like we gotta hype up Chris.
Yeah, we gotta hype.
Chris
we gotta
Silver
make
was
him
the
interesting.
guy.
Yeah.
He's like everyone, close your eyes. Think of the person in middle school or high school, can be either, who was like that guy.
Yep.
That's Chris. Tyler Hines, fine. He's not unattractive by any means.
Oh no, he's a handsome man.
Very handsome.
So I've been thinking a lot
Yeah.
about why on earth he's like the way he is. Because to me, he is like 10 years older than these women in how he acts. I feel like he dads them. Like he has a line where he's just like praising Naomi, but it sounds like a dad like holding her hand and telling her she's good enough. And I'm like, why did they do this? Why did they put like an Andrew W. Walker or Christopher Palaha would be too old.
Way too old.
But
Sorry.
like a Charlie, though he's a little old, but he looks young. Anyway,
He looks young. He can play younger.
D'Angelo.
Yeah, no.
But so I was like, why did they do it? And I realized, and my only conclusion is that he was deployed 3 times.
That's what I was thinking too.
And I was like, they must have made him extra serious because they wanted that military. He's seen war 3 times. I don't know. I'd be pretty serious if I was him. Also, I don't know.
He peaked in high school.
He did peak in high school, and that's a big
rough.
part of his
It's rough.
big underlying part of his character.
It is, yeah. So him and Naomi are like kind of like connecting.
But I thought him and
Well, I said Liz is being completely weird and a total block.
Well, so here's where I was at. I kind of saw him vibing with both of them.
Sure.
And Liz being
Don't worry,
I'm not into him, but we know she's into him.
I think what we kind of get to is like it's more the idea of him, whereas like Naomi might actually be into this weirdo.
I don't know. I thought so see, this was like part of my thing. Like for the first hour, I was like, she looks into him and they vibe. Like he even says like, comes a little later, but he even says like soulmates to her because they like the same book. And I was like, okay,
yeah.
So they both vibe. Obviously Naomi is into him.
Right.
But I don't know. I kind of felt like he changed personality with each woman.
Yes.
And so I couldn't tell. I thought it was going to be like a real triangle issue.
I definitely thought it was going to be more of a triangle issue than it was.
I was wrong.
And I don't know if that's because they didn't want to show women competing over a man, which I can kind of appreciate.
But why set it up?
I don't know.
I feel like they kind of, I don't know. It seemed almost like an afterthought. Like they threw in the triangle element in a later draft of the script.
To make sure that it was a romance movie?
Like to throw something different than have it be just everybody's. Like, cause like it's called Never Been Chris'D. And you look at the cover and it looks like they're fighting over one man. They're not fighting over one man.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
And so Never Been Chris, they refer to like the girls who dated him in high school as like being Chris'd, and they never got to be Chris'd.
Yeah.
So that's where the name comes from. And so Liz is celebrating Hanukkah. And Naomi is celebrating Christmas. Liz is also staying at Naomi's mom's house instead of at her own house. Again, mommy issues abound in this episode.
They do not get along.
So Liz is, I don't know if she's a stepsister or a half-sister. Do you know? Okay. JoJo
No idea.
got into Stanford.
Yeah.
Which happens. And Liz was supposed to go to Stanford.
Yes,
and
Liz applied and she didn't get in.
Did not get in. Important note. And Liz also is not in the holiday card her mom is sending out. So they Photoshop her in. My God. And we'll put it in there.
Yep.
And the picture that they Photoshop, she's standing there with like her eyes closed.
She puts in
It's awful.
This like just square photo. It happens a little bit later. It's like her attempt to fix it because right now they're like, "Oh, you're not in at all," and she's like, "You could have photoshopped me." And the mom's like, "Well, I'm not a tech wizard." And then when she does it, you're right, you're not. But I went, "Do you think this woman doesn't have an available Instagram photo with her eyes open? You know she has selfies about."
Absolutely, and you don't think her mom like? Come on, you're not going to pick like even.
It was a little much.
It was too much.
It was a little much.
So then they're also, I don't remember the point of this. I don't know if they're given to them or if they just had them, but they decide to go out in these matching ugly Christmas sweaters that they have.
Naomi's mom gives her.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Gives them both. She gets all three of them the sweaters.
No boundaries.
Yeah, she's the no boundaries mom.
No boundaries mom. So they decide to wear them out because they're like, whatever. Like, who could we possibly run into? Like, we're gonna be kind. And so they run into Chris at the bar, who invites them to join them at his table, and it's all full of people that were like popular.
Yeah, it's like the popular group in high school. I think that was the implication.
They're truly caricatures of being human.
Yeah,
I disliked all of them a lot, and I also wrote especially Misty, who I think was the character you said could have been better had she had more lines. No.
No, I was not saying. When I made that comment, I heard you respond, and I went, "Oh, I think she did a good job."
Okay.
What I was saying about Misty was that I didn't even know her name. Like each of these characters, like has like a thing, like the way they talk. I thought like the big guy, I can't remember what his name was. I thought he was kind of funny.
He's supposed to be like the class clown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then there's like the flamboyant one, who's the Party Marty or something.
Party Marty.
And then there's the chick Misty, and she talks really slow, and it reminds me, if any of you out there remember the show Daria, there's a character who does that. She talks Tiffany, but so anyway, I was just like, she put so much work into this character, and then she has like 6 lines.
Yeah.
Those 3, because it also includes that popular girl,
Carly,
who does have a role to play. But
yes.
the other 3, like, they put work into these characters that don't exist.
Yeah. Nope. Unreal.
Yeah.
So this is where we learned that Chris graduated, became a Marine, then became a teacher, and he was in Chicago, but now he's back in Weston.
Yes.
And there's the way he gives this like monologue, there's kind of like this air of mystery about it. And we're kind of like, that's when we're kind of led to like the first hint of like, what's up with Chris?
I didn't have that yet.
Oh.
He's been so right here, flat for me. Like, not flat, but like he's been so one note.
Yeah.
I just thought he was being him and he was going to be serious the whole time. I didn't get weird until they started telling me to get weird, which we'll get into later.
Yep.
The only weird thing was I'll mention it after you mention it. It's coming up in 30 seconds. You will. It's a huge plot point for him. He's a vegan.
Oh, yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes.
See?
He's a vegan. So he invites them to the holiday party he's hosting.
This is where they say he's a vegan.
Then I did not write it down.
Yeah.
I did not think that was remarkable till it got weird.
Because it did.
Yeah.
Well, so I noticed.
Because people are vegan.
Well, but I was like, this guy's a vegan?
Yeah, the Marine.
Also, why did, because they're like,
vegan
oh,
Marine.
you're going to his party, so there's going to be vegan treats, so someone bring food. And
Got
I was
it.
like,
Yep.
I was like, they made him a vegan?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I logged it, also having been almost vegan for a
Yeah,
while.
you were.
I log it, yeah.
So they go back to Naomi's mom's house, and she announces that she's going to sell the house and move to Palo Alto to be closer to Naomi.
Yes.
And Naomi's like, and you can tell that like what she should say to her mom is like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
But instead she's like,
I don't know what I would say.
I don't know what I would do.
I would tell my
truly
mom
don't.
okay. I would just say okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do.
It didn't get weird until it got weird later. For me, I was like, what's the problem? Just let her move to the area and have your mom around. But if you had issues like Naomi has issues,
yes,
I can get it.
Yep. So now they're at Chris's holiday party, and this is when he and Liz connect over The Great Gatsby.
And this is where I'm like, they're vibing because
Yes.
he's like slow talking her about
Yep.
The Great Gatsby and them like both liking it.
Yep.
And she's beautiful. Like,
Yes.
and I mean that in like, she's a model.
Right.
You know, and so she was looking really pretty, and he's slow talking all in her space. So
nope,
I was
absolutely.
Like,
I was like,
it's a vibe. I did not think he was going to go for Naomi at that point.
Poor Naomi.
she's
Can't
so
be seen as a girl boss. Can't be seen as a viable dating option.
One day she'll be a baker, though, and it'll be okay.
One day, she'll be a
See,
florist.
the thing is that she is the Hallmark leading lady.
Yes, 100%.
And they were like, we need to adjust this a little bit, throw another character in.
Yep, a hundo P.
Yeah.
So then he and Naomi connect
Yeah.
because she admits that she had a crush on him in high school.
Yeah.
Over a game of Never Have I Ever, where I think they have to eat cookies. Like I think you eat a cookie.
If you know, immediately I thought, I'm like, oh, you get so full. Because apparently I always lose.
I always lose that game too.
Yeah,
I've had a very boring life.
Oh no, and then I win. I eat. Okay, it's fingers down if you've done it, right?
Right.
So eat a cookie if you've done it.
Yeah.
And I would get very full.
Oh,
'Cause I've
I would
generally
not
done
have
everything.
nearly enough cookies to make that game worth it. So he invites them both to go with him to a gingerbread
Oh, he loves
and
group
cocktail
He loves
night.
group hangs.
And I was like, are we dabbling in polyamory?
I said, I'm like, is this their
like-
attempt at a polyamory?
I mean, Hallmark is going by, they're using they, thems. We've got diverse casting. Like,
Is this where we're going?
are we trying something?
No, we're not. No, he likes group hangs though. But you know what? This is again where it was like, this was you and me. Like it was like we would hang. I feel like we'd hang out and guys would be like, "You want to go out?" Now they wouldn't say, "Do you want to go out?" And together we would say yes, and I'll bring the other person.
Yeah, but I don't remember ever going on a date with you or vice versa. And
But this wasn't a date yet.
well, that's true, but I can't think of a situation where we both liked the same guy that we were
can.
hanging out with.
I can.
So the girls are still having mom issues across the board. Nothing like to report on necessarily, just that it's like an overarching, consistent thing that keeps happening within their conversations. At gingerbread night, they both have very intense conversations with Chris. Naomi talks about like finding love and her dad passing away, and Liz feeling like she's really hard to love, that like people don't love her.
She says that, like she's like, I'm hard to love, and I was like,
Yep.
wow, that's first date talk. Look at that go.
And I wrote, his chemistry with both women is truly stressing me out because I'm not sure who I'm supposed to root for.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
I felt like I was actively sweating during that scene.
I was still very much, his chemistry with Liz was better because I felt like he kept talking to Naomi like she was a child. But she kind of is cast. Her character's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Very much, she's a little deer in headlights sometimes. She's a very nice person.
Absolutely.
And he just seemed sometimes like he was petting her head and telling her everything's okay. And with Liz, it seemed more like they were on the same playing field with their personalities.
I can understand that.
For Ariel. Yeah. I don't know when this note comes in, but...
We'll get there. You didn't write scene by scene?
Nah, I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't.
Neither did I. So they're opening up these memory boxes and looking through like high school memories.
Oh, yeah, Liz and Naomi, not
and
Chris.
and they get a text inviting them to go skating.
Ice skating. Yes, he's group hanging again.
And then Naomi catches the glimpse of something in Liz's memory box and goes and asks her why she kept her Stanford rejection letter.
Yeah.
And Liz is like, never mind that.
Yeah,
and
she's like, memories.
Memories.
She's really a big self-deprecator.
Yes,
so
she is. She truly is.
She's a huge self-deprecator.
And so this is where I asked if Hallmark was dipping its toes into polyamory. No. Naomi can't skate.
No.
Again, kind of like the infantilizing part of it. I think it stopped your video.
Okay.
And we're back for a third time. do, 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 do. Okay, so rewinding it. She has her Stanford rejection letter for some unbeknownst reason.
Yeah.
And they're going to skate. Naomi cannot skate.
Yep.
Liz can.
Yep.
So Naomi takes a break and Liz and Chris skate together and talk more about Liz feeling like she has to be good at everything in the hopes that it would make her own father notice her.
Yeah.
Which I don't actually understand what that means in the context. Because her parents aren't married, right?
Her parents aren't married, and Chris was saying that it was about his dad for him.
Yeah.
So I think she was just clicking those together, even though we focus on her mom, not her dad.
I'm wondering if I meant to write mom and wrote dad because Chris was talking about his dad. But anyway, she's trying to get approval from her parents. And he makes a cryptic comment about how he used to be Chris Silver, but now he's just Chris. And I wrote, what happened to this man?
The war.
The war. Liz and Chris kiss.
Do they? I thought that was
just
in
kidding.
her mind. Oh, God.
It was in her head.
So, all right. I looked up for 30 seconds. Like, they start kissing, and I'm like, oh, great, that makes sense. Look away, come back, and I'm like, did it happen? Did it not happen? What's going on? And I just wrote down, tell me what happened.
Just kidding, you. It was it was all in Liz's head.
See, and this is why I was like, we're still going for a they're fighting over him thing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So Liz gets knocked over for some reason.
Yeah.
Someone just bumps into her.
Yeah, that was my look away.
And then they're back with Naomi as Chris treats Liz's injury. It's minor. So Liz says to Naomi and Chris, like, oh my gosh, go skate, go have fun. Don't you worry about me. Like, help a sister out. So, and he's helping her because she can't skate, like really being supporting, holding her up. And they talk about what she imagined dating him would be like. And so again, I think I understand like the conflict of it all in terms of like who he's supposed to be with. Like him and Liz are having like very real conversations.
Yeah.
And then every conversation with Naomi is like, I had a crush on you.
That was my thing. It was like all it was I felt like she was just like feeding his ego.
Yeah, a little bit.
And Liz were like talking like people who like each other and get along and have chemistry.
Yep.
Anyway, I was wrong.
She falls, he catches her, and they kiss.
Boom, for real, baby.
And it was real. I kind of was also hoping we'd get another in the imagination of it all.
Me too. I thought it was going to be the imagination.
I was really blown away when it wasn't.
Yeah. Well,
So
I was waiting for like the pop.
Yep.
And then we see Liz go, And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not fake.
And so then Liz says to Naomi, you've been Chris'd.
Yes.
And is like, I keep hitting my chin on this, and is actually being like a decently supportive friend, like gives her blessing and said, but she asks like if it was everything they ever like dreamt about. And she's like, no, but like kind of has this little dreamy look on her face. And so she's looking through her memory box again, Liz. And I had a thought. I was like, this lied about Stanford.
You actually thought that?
Oh, yeah.
You're a psychic.
Well, I feel like I could write these movies with my hands behind my back, my nose closed, and my eyes closed.
Hands behind your back, clip on the nose. There we go.
Yep. I could still write a better movie than AI. So I'm right.
You are right.
Right after that, I mean, I feel like they teed us up for it, but she pulls out her acceptance letter, and I'm like, why would you not have gone to Stanford?
I was literally baffled. I went, is something wrong? Like, why on earth would you not go to Stanford when you got in?
Yeah.
You know, like I could see not applying.
Yeah.
But not when you, okay. But, you know, I'm not a Stanford
We kind of get there. I don't know. This gets wrapped up in a neat little bow in a way that doesn't make a ton of sense in the long run in how things function.
I agree with you. At this point, sort of about the 1 hour mark of the movie sort of becomes a different movie.
It totally switches.
It's just they change and they start to rap, but yeah.
I wonder if like they had written a different movie and it didn't go over well with audiences watching just two women get into hijinks fighting over a man.
See, what I think happened is they wrote the Naomi Chris story, and then when we've done this a billion times, how do we change it? And they threw Liz in. And so it became a best friend story because it really does feel like there's, at this point, it becomes Liz and then Naomi. And they're having two separate stories.
Yep, they are having two separate stories.
So I'm like, I wonder if the original script was just a classic Hallmark, because Naomi is classic.
If a writer wants to come on the show and talk to us.
Oh, yeah.
I assume a human writer. If it's a robot, I do not want to speak to them.
I do. I want to speak to the robot. I really, really do. I really do. Feel free to leave it in the comments if you want to come on and talk to us.
Oh, I'm okay. Whew. So Chris texts Naomi and asks her out on a real date.
Yeah.
A proper date.
Proper date.
Without Liz.
Good for her.
Good for her. And Liz is shopping, and she runs into Carly, who's like essentially the
popular girl.
Chris Silver of women.
Yes, she was
Carly
homecoming
Silver.
queen. Carly Silver.
Carly Silver. Put it in stone. They have the same initials. So she's like always been the popular girl, and and Carly ends up inviting Liz out, and says to come even if Naomi can't make it.
Yeah. Whoa.
The girls live so next door to each other that they are borderline the most codependent women I've ever seen.
Oh.
So this is where the movie is showing how different they are, the different things that they want in life, like all these things. And so now, I almost wrote Natalie. Naomi's on the date, and they talk about him being vegan. And
they do, because he brings out hot chocolate. And this was where I got a little sus. Because he brings out, they're like, oh my God, there's so much chocolate. Because they have hot chocolate and things like that. And she's like, but you're vegan. He's like, well, I'll tell you a secret. This whole place is vegan. They just don't tell anybody, so they don't want to scare off customers. And I went,
think he's literally
you're lying.
Yeah.
You are lying.
And then I was like, has Liz figured out that Chris is strange, and that's why she's like, fine with?
I was like, at the end of the movie, we're gonna find out he's a liar, and it's gonna be about friendship.
Is he a serial killer?
He's not a serial killer, but he is the first of the season. I don't know if we have any for the rest of the season.
I don't think we do either. A good season for us. So they talk about like finding themselves and their different dreams and like what they would do differently, which is their most serious conversation outside of the like her dad passing away conversation. Yeah.
And he, is very dad about it. Yeah. Like he's just like, I support you, Naomi. And it's about how she doesn't really want to, she's just kind of been following
Liz. Yep.
Yeah.
Her dreams as a kid were like owning the flower shop, owning the bakery. And I wrote both very real and potentially lucrative jobs.
She said they were kid dreams.
And I was like, no, the kid dream is like princess,
Yeah.
dinosaur,
Yeah.
astronaut who also is a princess.
I wonder if they're playing on the, like, everyone makes fun of Hallmark women
doing these
things, and so she's like, no one takes those seriously, and I want to do them. And I'm like, girl, get your shop.
Get your bag.
That is a tough job to own a business.
Especially those two businesses, if you are close to a wedding industry town.
Oh, yeah. Well, bakery, you've got to wake up at, like, the crack of the sun. That was a weird way to put it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Anyway, continue on.
So we find out Naomi essentially followed Liz's dreams.
Yes.
And Chris says that he thinks Liz needs Naomi as much as Naomi needs Liz.
Yep. That's where he's patting her hand a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So then we cut to Liz, who's at karaoke with all the like high school friends.
Yes.
And they're shook that she's there.
Yeah,
They like can't believe she showed up, and they that she like never went to any school events, and so they never
didn't go to the senior trip.
Nope. And they always said that she seemed like so secure and confident, and they tell Liz to host the Jingle Ball for the class reunion.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is because there was Jingle Ball for their senior thing,
And she didn't go.
So they said you should host a Jingle Ball.
Yep.
No.
And Naomi comes in as they're cheering for her, and she agrees to host it. And she kind of gets like, this weird, like, hurt look on her face.
Yeah, she's kind of hurt.
When she sees that Liz is going to do it. And I am like, hey, these women have put their own friendship above their wants and needs their entire lives. Both of them equally. And they've never talked about it.
You're correct.
Not a single time. And I was like, and Chris is somehow going to be that crack, but also not really.
But not really. He's not pivotal.
No.
I wrote about it. I was like, it's like it's called Never Been Chris, but he's not a climax. He's not.
No.
He doesn't do. This is them.
He's barely a catalyst for change.
Exactly.
Maybe a little bit with Naomi.
Yeah, he helps Naomi get kind of like brave.
Yeah.
But other than that, like.
Yeah.
They figure it out on their own.
Very strange.
Yeah.
But I kind of like this as a turn. I was okay that I wasn't getting. Yeah. I was also. I thought it was a more interesting plot.
That they started to like.
Or that it was about friendship rather than a man.
Oh yeah.
So they're making decorations, and Naomi is like very confused about Liz doing this. She's like, "You never wanted to go to dances. Like, why do you care about all of this right now?" And Liz was like, "I wanted to go to every dance, but it felt like if no one asked you to dance."
No, she said everyone would ask you, and no one would ask me.
Oh, that's right.
She didn't go because she thought Naomi would get all the
attention.
I
I wrote it weird. But that is exactly, you're correct. So Liz wanted to go, but felt like Naomi would be the center of attention.
Yeah, yours made it more altruistic than it was.
Yeah, it's not. It's not at all. And so then Liz says to Naomi, hey, invite Chris to Hanukkah night 6. It's important. There's 8 nights. 8 crazy nights.
Yeah, and they do their big party on night 6. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. They probably did their party on whatever fell on a Saturday.
And Naomi's like, I think Chris is the one. And Liz is like, you barely know this man.
Yeah. She's like, shuts it down 30 seconds. And that's why I'm like, oh, so he's going to be a bad guy. Like, what? No, they're just really just trying to like dismantle Hallmark tropes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And so Liz also tells Naomi that like Carly's going to help with the Jingle Ball. So like we don't really need Naomi's help there. And her and Carly are actually like bonding over the fact that they need success.
Yes.
I almost said something entirely different. Success to like define who they are.
Yep.
And they decide the theme for the Jingle Ball is going to be the early 2000s.
Yep.
Y2K, baby.
Y2K.
We love it.
They said lace up jeans?
Oh, like the ones that had like the little.
Did you ever wear those?
No, I had clip up pants though. They had clips on the side, but they were from Hot Topic and they were not jeans. They were insane.
Oh, your Hot Topic pants were in my brain still. Oh,
they're in my brain
these
still
are kind of they're Britney Spears.
I really wanted to be goth.
Oh, you did? And you did your darndest.
But I couldn't commit because I also wore like baby blue t-shirts.
But you were like that. You were like baby goth, you know? You know?
What am I now?
An adult.
Okay. So Carly also wants to do a king and queen. And I wrote so she can cheat again.
Oh, yeah, because she cheated at homecoming queen before, which if cheating by voting for yourself 11 times is really what turns the needle on it, like, I don't know, man.
So to derail us into an entirely different show, Gossip Girl.
Okay.
The better version. We're not even going to talk about what HBO tried to do. The prom episode, they think Chuck Bass is trying to sabotage Blair from winning prom queen.
Okay.
But it turns out the mean girls, which is ironic to say because Blair herself is the meanest of the mean girls, but whatever, the other mean girls of the school had actually been like stuffing the ballot to have her lose and embarrass her.
Oh.
And he found out what was happening and pulled those ballots out. Like, he did the right thing because he was in love with her. We love Chuck Bass.
We love Chuck Bass. Okay.
Minus, look, Chuck Bass somehow gets a pass for a lot of really bad things, and I'm sorry about that, okay? But she wins prom queen. Yeah. And Serena's like, oh my God, she's gonna be so happy. Like, I can't believe even with you trying to ruin everything, you did this. And he's like, I didn't ruin this. He's like, I voted for her about 150 times. Compare that to 11.
11?
Compare real cheating and stuffing a ballot.
Yeah, she's been living with this cheating thing for
heavy on her soul.
20 years almost, if she's 35 now. Yeah, it's really weighed heavily on her that she voted for herself 11 times.
Yep. And so they arrive at Hanukkah, they being Naomi and Chris. Yeah. And he gives Liz flowers. He gives some to Naomi too.
Oh. No, he gave them to Naomi. Because he says, these are like to show you that I was thinking about you. I'm pretty sure.
I think he gives flowers to both of them.
Oh, like it's like a courtesy.
And Liz had like a big stank face about it.
Yes.
And I think, but you know, in the context of, I think they wanted us to still think there was jealousy, but with the conversation beforehand about like not knowing him, I think it's more like.
It felt like just something that never paid off.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like they were like, see, we're doing this thing, but we're not.
So then.
Oh, my sweet Lord. Oh, we have to talk about
Liz catches Chris eating lox.
Chelsea.
Which, I mean.
Chelsea, no, I know. Lox are delicious. As a seasoned Jew who's eaten a lot of smoked salmon.
A lot of lox.
Lox are delicious, but they did it again. In the comments, my Jewish friends, if you're not Jewish, I don't want to hear about it unless you want to tell me a funny story. How many of you have lox at dinner? Not with bagels. Lox are for bagels. They're not for latkes. They're not for Hanukkah. They're not for dinner time. They're Hallmark putting Jews eating bagels again.
You've had
lox for dinner?
I've had it on a latke.
You've had lox on a latke? Mm-hmm. Where?
A Ukrainian restaurant.
Okay, that's a restaurant. That's so weird. Lox on latkes. Apparently they do it. I've never. I think it's insane to have lox after 12 p.m.
I would eat lox just about any time of day, quite frankly.
Felt like it was them doing like, look, they eat bagels, and we need to give them a Jewish food.
It needs to be a Jewish food.
Why didn't you have them like
absolutely.
Eat a little
They
bit
can't
of
think of anything.
Just give them a little bit of brisket. Ooh. Love brisket.
But
anyway,
he won't eat brisket.
He won't eat brisket. He's a vegan.
He's a vegan. So she's like, I thought you were a vegan, and she runs to tell Naomi that like he's lying to her, which if there's something that I have learned in my life is if they'll lie about something stupid and dumb, there are bigger lies around that corner.
It was weird because this was where I went, whoa, wait a second, he's a liar. I was like, so he's a problem. Because when she says, you're eating fish, and he's like, no, and she's like, are you a pescatarian? He's like, no, I'm a vegan.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could have literally just said, sometimes I eat fish. Called it a day.
I know.
But then Liz goes up to Naomi.
Well, there's already like stirring resentments, obviously, but and Naomi's like, you always do this. And Liz says one of my favorite lines in a movie ever. She's like, what, out people as pescatarians? And she says, no, make me stay home at the dance instead of going to the dance so that you aren't alone.
Oh, so she's...
And she's saying like, you're ruining this for me because it's going well and then you're going to be alone.
Yeah. But I didn't like that Chris did nothing to resolve the situation after walking up. He just acts like it doesn't happen. And I'm like, am I supposed to hate this man?
I mean, truly. And Liz is realizing that something is up with Chris.
Yep.
Right?
Something's up with him. They want us to think that.
They really do. They wanted this to be some sort of a mystery.
Yeah, they were like, whoa, he's a bad guy.
And Liz gives her mom this like very unique, bespoke menorah.
She makes it.
Oh, she made it?
Yeah, she made it, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure she DIYs that menorah.
Oh, I thought it was like an expensive purchase from like a...
on the screen right now if I'm right or
great.
wrong.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But so her mom thanks her for whatever this is.
Dude, her mom sucks.
And I'm like...
Why are we even acting like this is her fault that this relationship is like this?
I literally, in my notes, I call it unique and bespoke, which are very complimentary words about art.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe not unique, depending, but bespoke, we know.
That's money. That's a
money word.
That's a money word. Yep.
So they start to fight a little bit, but they're interrupted by stepdad, and he's lighting candles. Yeah. And then Liz gets a call from the apps company that they had pitched to earlier.
Oh, yes.
And they say, we don't really want to give you funding. We just want to buy your app.
Yes.
We'll buy it from you.
Yeah. They're going to buy Best Pals.
Best Pals. And Liz doesn't want to sell the app because it's like her whole identity, her whole life. It's what she's been working for. She didn't go to Stanford. And Naomi is like, we could probably both benefit from something new. Yeah. And I just like... I was like, my heart's breaking. I don't know if you've ever been so codependent that everything in your life revolves around a person, but I have, and it is very tough when they move away.
Are you looking at me? I was like, she's looking at me. No, but that's even, I kept seeing our friendship in this friendship.
But we're better communicators. And I would have never not gone to a college because you weren't going to it.
No, and we were not.
We weren't friends
like
at that point.
At that point,
yeah,
we were.
And we went into business mostly after we separated our lives.
Now we went into business when we were a little older.
Yeah.
And now we know if we don't deal with our stuff, we're being no better than Liz and Naomi.
Do not make me a Liz or a Naomi, quite frankly.
My gosh.
So Naomi ends up, I don't know why they're always around the memory box or where they must have gone up to the room to fight.
She walked up, she woke up the next morning and she was like going to go out and she knocks over the memory box.
You're right.
And then she looks at the envelope.
Sleeping together.
They sleep in bunk beds.
And so she finds the Stanford letter and realizes that Liz got in and didn't go.
I'd be pissed. I'd be like, you've been lying to me. You, Chelsea, would be pissed. Oh, my God. You guys don't even understand the wrath of Chelsea if she knew I had lied to her for that long.
If they're 35?
Yeah.
And they've been friends presumably since 14, 15?
She's probably talked about this.
20 years.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Get
You're
by
being
my
mean
mouth.
with the mic.
So then we cut to Mom being like, I'm just going to live with you while I find a place in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that's where I'm like, okay, living in my same town. Living with me?
No, if my mom said live with me, I've made it very clear to my mother after this, it's not happening again.
It's done.
I love you, Mom, but no.
And yeah, so Naomi grows a pair and is like, absolutely not.
Yeah, I was proud of her.
Yeah.
I feel like this did more for her growth than Chris did.
Yes, but then her mom gets really cold and angry, which is the scary part about having parents like this.
Yes.
Because one minute they want to live with you, the next you're getting the cold shoulder because they don't like what you said.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine this childhood. So Naomi's at dinner with Chris, and he asks how her dinner is, and the pasta is good.
She has fish.
She's got fish. She's kind of eyeing it. It's kind of strange. And I'm like, just eat fish.
At this point, I'm like, oh, he's one of those people who's a vegan, but he's struggling not to eat meat. I put it together. I was like, oh, he's trying not to tell anybody that he's struggling not to eat meat.
Right. He doesn't want to go back on something.
Yeah. Oh, when you go into vegan and vegetarianism,
Yeah.
it can be ego crushing
Yeah.
to go back.
So he doesn't want the relationship to end, even though she's going home in a few days. And
he wants to keep going.
yeah, wants to do long distance. And makes the suggestion that if one of them finds a job, the other one could move.
I'm going to be honest. When he started doing this was before the fish moment. I was like, he's a liar. Run. Because I didn't put it together.
So I wrote, what is wrong with Chris?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this man is broken.
Yeah.
But like not in.
There was just something about his delivery that wasn't like romantic enough for me to want to root for it. And I was like, no, he's a liar. Run, 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 run,
Yep.
run. Yep.
Yeah. So she leaves, so she calls Liz and like leaves her a voicemail asking for advice. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I just want them to be friends again.
I
Like,
know.
And then she turns around and sees him sneaking a bite of salmon.
He's taking his fork and pulls the plate to it. And then eats it as like he's like, it was just awesome.
So-
I put it all together.
Yep. Same as my 2 notes above, but this time in all caps. What is wrong with Chris?
I had forgiven him at this point. I was like, oh, I get it. You're just lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And so lying to other people.
Yep.
But I hope you're not lying about anything else.
Which he's
Anyway.
not.
And
So our 2 leading ladies have a little business meeting, and it seems like they're agreeing to sell Best Pals.
Yeah.
Yes.
no, you've got one more conversation to go before I have this comment. I got excited early.
So they stop into Carly's shop.
Yep.
And Chris is there doing some handiwork.
God.
And Naomi dumped him last night.
Yeah. They basically,
She broke up with him.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't clear to me that she broke up with him, but
No.
he's being very verbal about being broken up with.
Yeah. So they're at the school gym and they're decorating.
Okay.
And he apologizes to Naomi for being childish.
Yes. Now I have
Yeah.
2 things. One, when they leave the store, Liz says to Naomi, like, what's happening with Chris? And she's like, oh, we're done. And she's like, why didn't you tell me? And Naomi's like, I left you a voicemail. And Liz is like, what is this, 2000 and something? We're leaving voicemails? And I just wrote, I don't like Liz. I don't like her. Because if I freaking left you a voicemail and you didn't ask me, why did you leave me a voice? Like, I get it.
I would listen to the voicemail.
But like, actually, I find voicemails to be significant now. If my friend leaves me a voicemail and doesn't text me to say, no need to call me back right away, I take it as a big deal. And I was like, Liz,
Yep.
you're a...
Jingle her out, please.
And then I actually also just in all caps wrote, just ask the man about the fish. Just ask him about the frickin'
Just
fish.
be like, do you
just
want-
say, why are you lying about the fish thing?
Is there something else I should know?
Well, yeah, like this isn't a big deal, but it feels like it's being made into a big deal. Can we
really
just
big
squash it?
Deal.
Yeah.
So, where am I in my notes?
Getting ready for
So
the
we're at the
dance?
last night of Hanukkah, and Liz's mom offers to chaperone the dance.
Oh, Liz has gone to stay because she won't stay with Naomi anymore.
Right. And it seems like her mom's kind of trying this time around.
See, that's kind of what her mom does, though.
Yeah.
Like, she's like kind of mean, but then she's also kind of like, this is your fault that we don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm trying, you're not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Naomi then sits down with her mom, and her mom is still assuming they're going to live together. Like, she just kind of has dismissed
She
it.
said, oh, I thought you just weren't being truthful about it.
Yeah.
And you do want to live together. Like, what?
And
Crazy pants?
she tells her mom that she's being illogical and disrespectful.
Whoa, those are big words.
Big words.
She's growing.
And Liz walks in behind them while they're having this conversation. And so then Liz and Naomi start to fight about the Stanford thing.
Oh, yeah.
And this is when Liz packs up to leave to go stay at her
Got
mom's.
it. Okay.
Yep. I don't remember who said this. I should have written that down. I always thought our friendship was the greatest gift I ever received, but maybe we are just holding each other back.
Ooh. I also felt like Liz was being rude in this fight.
It was probably Liz. So they decide to sell Best Pal.
Yep, they're going to sell Best Pals.
Best Pal, I wrote it down.
Yeah, because
It's in my notes.
And it's Best Pal, not Best Pals, because Chris says Best Pals, and Liz's like, it's Best Pal.
Yep.
I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
calm
Yep.
down.
So Liz and her mom are talking, and they're getting along. And Naomi goes to apologize to her mom for everything, but then her mom apologizes and is like, I think Naomi says to her, like, I do want to take care of you, but you don't need it yet.
Yes.
Like, we're good.
She goes on big hikes and things.
Yeah, like, go be.
Yeah.
And Naomi also is sick of being seen as Liz's sidekick and doesn't really want to be that anymore. And I believe her mom says to her, just because you're growing doesn't mean you have to grow apart.
Oh.
Yeah, some actual mom wisdom.
Yeah, because she wasn't going to go to the dance.
Yeah.
And mom was like, go to
You
the
should
dance.
go, it's
It'll
important.
mean something to Liz.
Yes.
Yep.
And so Liz is in the gym in her gorgeous dress.
Oh my God. She stepped on screen and I was just like, and I never get like that, but I was, whoa.
Yep.
She looked so beautiful.
Too bad we didn't have a staircase. And they talk about Liz and Naomi's fight. Like she confides in him and they have a conversation about it. Chris and Liz.
Chris and Liz talk,
yeah. And I think he says to her, sometimes things have to change.
It's really funny. They talked and I went, are we doing this now?
Again?
I'm like, really? No, we're not doing anything there.
And Liz tells Chris that Naomi is the only person who ever made her feel like she'd been Chris'd.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And she's like, you'd have to be there. And he goes, sounds like I was there. Which this movie had just like these little pockets of like funny really lines. Doing it for me. Like the pescatarian line was so funny. This was so funny.
Yeah, there was some funny lines.
Chris's only secret is that he sometimes eats fish.
Yep.
That's the only secret.
That's
it. I was so confused. So Naomi approaches Chris at the dance and tells him she wants to do long distance, but doesn't want to get hurt. And he says, with you, I felt like Chris Silver again.
Which I thought was so funny because I missed earlier when he said
that he was just Chris.
That he was just Chris. And he's like, I feel like Chris Silver. And I'm like, you feel like you're 17?
Hey.
Like I'm 17 again.
They make out hard.
They tongue.
Yeah.
Like I was even like, this is a much. This is a little much. You guys could have pulled that back a hair. Just a hair.
Also, she should have gone to Liz first.
Instead of Chris?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I guess the Liz stuff is more important, so maybe we get the Chris stuff out of the way.
Yeah, when you put two movies into one movie.
So she's giving the welcome and thank you speech, Liz is, and they decide to cancel the king and queen of it all because Carly has decided she does not need a redo.
Yeah, that's Carly's story.
Good.
Because there's been this whole thing about Carly.
Carly got a story too.
Queen.
Carly Silver.
Yeah, this movie did not need to be 2 hours.
So Liz and
Silver, sorry, keep going.
Liz and Naomi just have like this really beautiful heart-to-heart about their growth and how Liz just had to be there and she thinks that her and Naomi are soulmates. So again, going back to the soulmate thing, yes.
I was just thinking about how Liz picked out Naomi's dress.
Yes.
And one of the things Liz said is that she worried that going to a dance, everyone would ask Naomi to dance and not her. And there is a stark difference in how beautiful Liz looks compared to how beautiful Naomi looks. And Naomi is beautiful.
I know.
But you were talking, I went, did she just sabotage her dress? And I was like, I just had to share. I don't think she did. No. But I just, yeah. There's just such a difference in how stunning.
And I mean, even with the Y2K of it all, I think it...
I felt like Naomi's prom dress was so mid.
Yeah. No, it was very weird.
It was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But so they cry and they hug. Yep. And I loved it.
That's so good.
And I was crying.
Did you cry?
Oh, I'm not crying. You are.
Good.
And they make out. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. The two women become friends again, but they're going to go their separate ways, and they're going to grow together but separate.
Yep. And I think that's what the whole movie's about.
It absolutely is.
Growing together but separately with your friends.
And there was Never Been Chris, the movie that I
waited
and hoped and dreamed for.
I know, you were so ready. Did this movie end up being what you thought it was going to be?
Not a chance. Not for a single minute. And maybe if I'd watched a sneak peek or a trailer, I might have gotten a little bit more.
Why did you think? Well, I thought. Why were you excited? Just the cover?
I just wanted to watch two women catfight it out over a man. I wanted to see what kind of Christmas hijinks we'd have in a love triangle.
Yes, and they did not provide. There was.
I was like, is it worth it being Chris'd?
Yeah, the first hour happened. It was over. It was Done.
Just telling you.
Yeah. That's really, really... And it was really funny. It's Never Been Chris. I was like, oh, Kris Kringle, he's going to be Santa. He's not Santa.
Get ready for Catch Me If You Claus, baby.
Oh, I'm so ready. That man looks handsome.
He is handsome.
And that was the other thing. Whenever I tell people the movie is called Never Been Chris'd, I don't know why I understood it immediately and, like, thought it was clever. Like, it's never been kissed.
Right.
I don't know,
By
like,
a guy named Chris.
By a guy named Chris. I got it immediately. But every person I tell it to, like, gives me this face of, like, that's confusing or something. I'm like, what's confusing about it? It's an easy...
Get new friends.
Get new parents.
Oh. No, I love them.
So
I have a feeling...
I think
I'm hoping we don't fight, but...
I think I have a lot of logic behind what I wrote down, and I was very kind in one area.
Okay.
But you hold the reins, so you tell me where to begin.
I'm going to start with plot.
Plot, okay. I wrote a 7. So it seemed a little muddy to me. Like, why did we have the first hour be why we both want him, and then the last hour it's completely irrelevant? Why did we make it seem like he's a liar when he's not a liar at all? You know, it's like when Liz says, you're a liar, Naomi doesn't even say, like, oh, you're jealous because she's into him. Like, they really just dropped it. The side characters were funny, but they're not relevant, and I really didn't care about Miss Side Homecoming Queen.
Carly.
I didn't really understand what the arc for Liz was. I feel like both of their arcs were standing up for themselves, which is fine. But I don't know. It just didn't do anything wild for me. I wish they had pushed the anything farther. That was me.
I mean, I initially wrote a 10. I'll let the record show. You 10 is a feeling.
You did 10 is a feeling, and you did cry at the end.
I did. Like, I cried at the 6s. I think the Noel Diary is the only one that didn't get me, and Christmas Advent Calendar.
That might have just been a mood.
But I think you're right. I think it is like two separate movies squished together, not done well. So I'm going to lower it to a 9. Because I've still never seen anything quite like it.
Okay. You'll be happy with my acting score.
Okay, go for it.
I gave him a 9 for acting.
Oh, I gave him an 8.5.
Nice. That 0.5 was a side character, maybe?
No, I didn't think Chris was that great of an actor.
I get that.
Yeah.
I thought Chris just wasn't that good of a character.
Hard to be a good actor when you're given a bad character.
I would like to see him in another movie.
Okay.
There are a lot of options.
Yeah, we do have.
He is in the Bring Them Back Home for Christmas. Not the one we're going to be reviewing, but
we'll put it on the docket for a later season.
Yeah, I just thought everyone was exactly what they needed to be, and so they got an 8. But no one was like, oh man, I can't live with. I mean, he's not Chris Blaha.
Look,
is anyone?
Can we compare? Shall I compare these to a summer day? I said these instead of the.
Yeah, I liked it. I was listening and thinking. So
don't listen or think about me.
You're gonna get mad at my romance, I think.
I gave it a 9.
Give it a 6.5.
Yikes!
I said it was occasionally romantic? ? But nothing to wow over.
Like I said, I was like actively sweating during the gingerbread scene. I literally, for the first 45 minutes to an hour, did not know
what was
happening, but I really thought he had chemistry with both of them, which had me deeply disturbed because I thought they would at least like point me in a direction, and they didn't for me.
Yes.
I was not pointed towards Liz or towards Naomi. I was just like, am I gonna watch the two best friends that anyone could ever have lose it over this man? This man. Ryan Gosling? Okay.
Okay. You know how I thought this movie was going to end? I'm
scared.
I think it would have been interesting. One of the things that Naomi says is that she wants that true love where you see each other across the room and you feel it. It's a line of hers. I thought that Chris was going to start hanging out with Liz. He was going to realize he actually really does love Liz. Naomi and him just love the idea of each other. And then Naomi was going to meet somebody and be like, love at first sight. And then they were going to have to untangle and then end up separate. That would have been a movie I would have given a higher score for, I think.
All right.
So, yeah.
Hallmark, take notes.
Come on,
give us a Never Been Chris'd Part 2.
Hands behind the back, nose closed, eyes closed. We could write it. Let's go.
No hands, no legs. Cheer.
I gave it a 6.5.
Dang.
So I counted. We did have cookies. We did have Hanukkah lighting, which I'm giving them credit for because, you know, we had sweaters. But there was only Santa in pictures in the beginning. There's no Christmas tree trimming. There's no caroling. And it had a Christmas feel very occasionally for me.
I also gave it a 9.
That's all right. That's all right.
I thought we had a really good mix of Hanukkah and Christmas, which I appreciated because I don't think
that's a good
the
point.
Hanukkah movies tend to just be Hanukkah. The Christmas movies tend to just be Christmas.
That's a good
so I
point.
liked that we got multiple nights of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
I liked that we had locks. Felt very in the spirit of it all.
In the spirit.
The gingerbread thing, the holiday party, the Christmas sweaters, the jingle ball. It didn't culminate necessarily into Christmas, but I didn't feel like I needed it to. I feel like I still, again, it did not get a 10, nor does it deserve a 10 in the cheer department, but.
I don't know. I was maybe just being stingy. I've been watching Twilight earlier in the day. Maybe I was just in a vibe, you know?
You know what? Maybe my overhypeness of this movie will not allow me
to let it go.
To view it objectively.
And I have big hopes for Round and Round and Catch Me If You Claws, so I'm not too worried about this one getting a high score because I'm pretty sure those will get high scores.
Yes. It got an 8.0625.
It did fine.
It did fine.
It did absolutely fine. It is the first episode of the season, so we don't know what else it beat in the season, but it did not beat Easter under wraps.
Generous of you to say that when we've recorded multiple episodes of this season so far, but don't spoil it for the listeners.
That's exactly what I was not doing. I was acting like we hadn't recorded this.
I looked over at that record button and was like, you better be ready.
You better be on. It's beaten a lot of movies from. It didn't beat many things from season 2 because season 2 got
Season 2 was a
high
banger.
scores.
Season 2 had a lot of really good stuff.
But it beat a lot of movies that I would say are good. Last season, it really creamed last season because that was a whole lot of 7s.
Last season had just a lot of very middle of the road films. And that's okay.
They either went too far in a direction that like I didn't like, or they were just kind of meh. I don't know.
And cheer makes and breaks it. Like
it really
does.
But Double Holiday, which we both agree is a legend, and also a Hanukkah movie, a Hanukkah Christmas movie, it only got an 8.25 compared to this 0.625.
And again, we can acknowledge that some of that is
enthusiasm.
My own enthusiasm. Yeah. Thank you. What a kind way to say that.
She
is generous of heart, mind, spirit, and body.
Better be spirit. Spirit is all that matters.
You didn't like body? Generous of body?
The
implication.
What are you trying to say about me on our show? Excuse me, technical difficulties.
We come back and we're fist fighting. Anyway, I love friendship. I love women. I like men.
I fill in there.
Yeah, she loves
just
men
not
enough
with
for
my
the
body.
both of us.
Jeez Louise.
I think also this is one of the very first episodes where I'm ever laughing so hard I can't function.
This was a fun one. I'm glad this is what starts the season.
Me too.
We're recording this on a Friday night, so things are a little wild.
It's different.
We usually do Saturday mornings.
It's a different vibe.
It's a different vibe, but I like it. I'm having fun.
Me too.
I've had a laugh riot time the whole time.
And we got McDonald's.
We got McD's. So I'm just writing down this score here so that I can be a good scorekeeper and not have that problem where I wrote Noel Diary wrong for 3 seasons. Shush, baby. Shush. You guys will keep listening to this show. You'll hear when I discover that.
We'll have our own little corner, you know?
So it's me, right?
It is you, babe.
All right, guys. Wow. Starting us off, okay, hold on.
The Liz to my Naomi.
I really thought you were the Liz. I'm going to be honest. I actually wanted to ask you if you thought you were the Liz or the Naomi in our friendship, because I think you're the Liz. And I'm flattered if you think I'm Liz.
honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know if either of them are enough like us for me to have that.
Looks wise, today it's pretty easy to tell who is who.
It's true.
Sorry guys, we're just listening. But I'm Naomi. I have brown hair and you have
but
lighter
she's
hair.
Jewish.
You're right. That is the switch.
That's the one. No, I
But
think like
I feel like I'm the romantic of the two of us, you know? Like, I'm the one who would be like, I'm in love with this man and I've known him. We've known each other for 20 years. No, you haven't, honey. Like,
Yeah.
you've known him for a couple weeks. Like, I feel like that's an Ariel.
that is an Ariel move. I just like, I don't love the implication that I would just like give up my dreams because my friend didn't also go to that. Like,
I agree with you.
I mean, did Naomi even apply to Stanford? Like, that's the confusing part. Like, if she had gotten in and Naomi got rejected, that's one thing.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't seem like Naomi has ever told her don't. Like, she has a funner personality. She probably told her, I love you on everything.
I don't think these women have ever said no to each other in their whole lives.
Yeah, I agree with you. But anyway,
Take us out.
neither of us.
Take it away,
I'm
Erin.
Naomi. All right, guys. This has been a great opener to season 4. We love you. And just keep in mind that, like, no matter where you are, no matter what time it is, no matter what day it is, no matter if you're a vegan, no matter if you're addicted to your best friend, have a very Merry Christmas. That was for you.
I'm addicted to my best friend.
Yeah, we've been addicted for a while.
I'm trying to forget that I'm addicted to you.